So, welcome back to my MonsterVerse-A-Thon, where today we are going to be covering the eighth wonder of the world's first film, Kong Skull Island. So sit back, relax, and enjoy as I review one of the best MonsterVerse projects. Back in 1944, Lieutenant Hank Marlowe is in an aerial dogfight with a kamikaze pilot named Gunpei Ikari, but their scuffle continues as they go deeper inland, running into Kong, the island's sacred protector. So the film follows Bill Randa and Houston Brooks as they assemble a team to go to an uncharted island in the middle of the Pacific. The teams include a British SAS officer named James Conrad, an anti-war photographer named Mason Weaver. Hey, wait. Never mind. And the Sky Devils helicopter squad led by Preston Packard. And when they get to Skull Island, chaos ensues. Kong destroys the helicopters, sending them to the ground. The survivors of the helicopter crash have to endure the pure brutality of Skull Island. They encounter several monsters along the way, including but not limited to the Mother Longlegs, the Skull Crawlers, the Spore Mantis, Skewer Buffalo, and Kong. They meet Hank Marlowe, who's been hanging out with the iwi on the island for 20 years. Preston Packard, seeking revenge against Kong for his helicopter team, wants to kill him. So he pours oil into a lake, making Kong come to him, and then they ignite it. But the only thing this does is create a new problem. They accidentally awakened the Skull Devil, which Kong has to fight in order to keep his island. Thankfully, he manages to kill it by disemboweling it, and they manage to escape the island with the help of the iwi tribe. And Hank Marlowe goes home. But James Conrad and Mason Weaver get taken into Monarch and debriefed on a bunch of information. Information involving a certain big reptile. Honestly, I think the humans in this movie were the most well-written of the MonsterVerse so far. They were all great. They had good qualities to all of them. They were just likable characters. And I hope Godzilla Kong the New Empire carries that trend over. I hear that the characters are gonna be likable in that. And I'm getting off topic. So one thing that stands out to me about this movie is that it really pushes the boundaries on PG-13. I mean, the violence in this movie is next level. It's so disgusting, but it's so, yeah, I like it for that reason. It pushes the boundaries so much into our territory, but it doesn't make it there fully. Yeah, the monsters in this movie were also so freaky. They're like something you would see in a nightmare or a dream. It's like, you know that feeling of you can't exactly, when you wake up from a dream, you can't exactly remember what you were thinking, and you can't explain it either. And it's just like, what the heck was that? It's so weird. That's what I felt about most of these monsters. The Mother Longlegs was terrifying. The Spore Mantis was so weird. It's a bug made out of a log, or a bug that looks like a log. And even the skull crawlers, lizards which have their skulls exposed and only have 2 legs. It's so weird. They're so freaky, and that's why I love this movie. And of course, you can't talk about the Kong movie without talking about Kong. He was the best character in this movie, unironically, actually. you could tell that... You could tell what he was feeling just from his expressions, and he was just such a good creature, a titan, if you will. He's just so great. However, if you put him under the right light, he can be absolutely terrifying. Like in the burning scene, the burning Kong scene, that he was quite scary and cool there. It's just, they did phenomenal with everything here. So one of the lore to this movie was that Bill Randa was actually the only survivor of a battleship crash. Quote-unquote crash. A monster had destroyed it in the water. Now, we don't exactly know what it is yet. The top theories are Godzilla and the Ion Dragon from Monarch, but there's Bill Randa, the Lawton, and the Ion Dragon. They're all going to be very relevant very later, so I'm not going to get too deep into that. The only real problem I had with this movie was how it rushed itself to the island. It was just a montage of gathering the team together and then going to the island within like 20 minutes. Which, don't get me wrong, the island was cool and the movie's still good, but it was rushed. And it felt a little strange. And I forgot to do this with Godzilla 2014, but the soundtrack in this movie was extraordinary. It was great. Project Monarch, Man v. Beast, and The Island especially. Henry Jackman did such a good job on this movie. This is also my favorite tone of the MonsterVerse. It's serious in some moments, but it doesn't take itself too seriously. I would have preferred if they stuck with this tone of horrifying monsters but with a slightly whimsical atmosphere. And putting it into the scale, out of 10, Kong Skull Island gets a solid 8.5 out of 10. One of the best the MonsterVerse has ever done. And I'll see you guys again next week when we return to the King of the Monsters.